Right now on Denver 7 News at 5 o'clock, a Broncos star is behind bars. Receiver Jeudy is due in court this morning. We're taking a closer look at the allegations against him.
And this comes as the Broncos are getting ready for primetime games.
We're here to entertain. We're here to play the best game in the world in front of as many people as we possibly can. I mean, that's what we all live for.
Yeah, we'll tell you about the big game right off the bat, pitting Russell Wilson against his former teammates.
Also, an historic accomplishment on Mount Everest, the statement this team of climbers is making on Earth's highest mountain, 29,000 feet above sea level, and we just hope all are in good health. But
that's an accomplishment.
Reached the summit. Incredible. Thanks for joining us on this Friday morning. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. And we get Stacey Donaldson this morning in for Lisa. And hopefully a pretty nice day ahead, Stacey.
It looks like a really nice day ahead. Afternoon highs in the 70s today. It will be a little windy, and we do have high fire danger. But our temperatures are starting out in the 40s and 50s this morning. Here for the Front Range, we have 20s and 30s off to the west into the higher elevations. It'll be sunny and dry today, though. 77 for our afternoon high. We'll have temperatures in the 70s along the I-25 corridor and out into northeastern Colorado, mostly upper 70s. If you're toward Kremling, 63 degrees for you and 56 in Frisco. Now we have red flag warnings as we have for the last few days here for the Front Range, eastern Colorado, and down into the southern part of our state. So that does include the entire metro area and the eastern plains. So winds will be picking up later today and again on Saturday for southern Colorado, where we have a fire weather watch in effect for Saturday. As for your out the door forecast this morning, we'll have temperatures in the 50s through about 8 a.m. and then we're into the 60s till about noon, 70s going into the rest of the day, Jason.
And right now, Stacey, the drive actually looks okay anywhere you want to go here this morning, including out here to the west side of town where we had some emergency road work on that eastbound side of C470 here around Morrison Road, 285. Everything's open and I'm not seeing any delays out to the west side. Take a look at I-70 in that lowered section. This is that tunnel right there, westbound, eastbound. They're still wrapping up some of the last of the construction. Little slow pocket of traffic in there, but not worth an alternate route at this point. The overall drive looks pretty good. You see a little bit of red showing up. They were just doing some work in the express lanes early this morning, but you shouldn't be delayed at all coming in from that north side of town right now. To or from the airport, easy on Pena Boulevard, but 25 to 30 minute wait times at security again at DIA. So it's going to be a busy day for you out there as we're looking at a lot of people waiting to get through security inside the airport.
Thank you, Jason. As we take a live look at Empower Field at Mile High this morning, anticipation is building. The Broncos getting ready for a packed schedule this season. There's high expectations for the team and a handful of games that will be in prime time.
But overshadowing that a bit right now, a star player is in jail this morning. Wide receiver Jeudy was arrested after an incident with the mother of his child. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta is live now with new details on these allegations. Veronica.
Well, Jeudy actually spent the night right here behind me. This is at Arapahoe County Detention Center. He's scheduled to see a judge for a hearing later this morning. That's expected to happen right around 8:30. Now, the reason he wasn't able to bond out yesterday after he was arrested, that's all tied to the kinds of allegations that he has. So let's run you through what those are this morning. We know he has a second-degree criminal tampering charge. That's a misdemeanor. But because the incident involved his girlfriend, there's a domestic violence enhancer on the charge. Law enforcement made it very clear yesterday there was no physical violence between Jeudy and the mother of his child. She's the one who actually called the police. And we obtained the arrest affidavit. She told police Jeudy put her wallet and child's medical paperwork in his car and refused to give them back to her. She says she just wanted the items back. She didn't want to get Jeudy in trouble. Deputies say Jeudy was cooperative and told deputies that he did take her items because she wouldn't give him back his phone.
Solely involved property. There was no damage to property. All that happened is that there was an accusation that property was being withheld, and deputies determined that there was enough probable cause to make an arrest.
And as you can imagine, deputies say they take these kind of charges really seriously, even if they aren't domestic violence related. As for the Broncos, they say they're aware of the situation. We'll bring you more after that 8:30 court appearance. We're live in Arapahoe County this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Well, thank you, Veronica. So while they get that sorted out, the news came on the same day the Broncos learned their schedule.
Yeah, and a big game right off the bat. Russell Wilson heading back to Seattle for his first game in orange and blue. The Broncos will take on the Seahawks for Monday Night Football on September 12th, and you'll be able to watch that game right here on Denver 7.
So big game for Russell Wilson there. That is the first of 5 primetime games, though. Of course, they also have that game in London, October 30th. They play on Christmas and New Year's Day as well. Head coach Nathaniel Hackett says he's excited about this schedule.
In the end, it's about getting to the playoffs, right? And that is the ultimate national television. That is the ultimate. So the more practice you can get in that situation, the better you're going to be as a team to just know that pressure, that the mindset that everybody's watching you, and be able to learn how you can cope with that and feel that environment and that excitement. So the more we get that, the better we're going to be.
Yeah, you can hear the excitement in his voice. You can find the entire Broncos schedule right now on thedenverchannel.com.
A follow-up to breaking news we first brought you yesterday morning. We now know the crime spree that ended at a Boulder RTD station started much earlier. Police say Trenton Dunham stole a car and shot into a home in Greeley early yesterday morning. He then carjacked a truck in Broomfield and later led police in Boulder on a chase. At one point, police say he pointed a gun at officers. They shot at him but missed. Officers arrested him near Table Mesa and Highway 36 in Boulder. Dunham is now facing 16 different counts. At 12:30 today, President Biden will meet with police chiefs and community leaders from across the country to talk about using money from the American Rescue Plan to improve community safety. This comes as the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office announced it doesn't have enough money to stop crime in the area. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford joins us. And Jessica, that statement was posted on Facebook. As you can imagine, it's gotten a lot of reaction.
It sure has, and he started off that post by saying that 7 of his deputies have been victims of attempted murder within just the past 28 days. He says he really thinks that crime has increased over the past 2 years. Sheriff Jeff Schrader wrote in a blog post that he attributes that rise in crime since 2020 to a few things. He said that the 2020 budget cut $6.5 million from the sheriff's office, leading to 40 fewer detention deputies and the closing of 1 floor of the jail. Schrader went on to write that the pandemic led to the jail's capacity being even lower, with only 658 people able to be in jail. He added that the defund the police narrative led lawmakers to remove important protections from law enforcement. Schrader said that the short-term solution is in funding. The county received more than $200 million in CARES Act and American Rescue Plan funds. He wants $3.75 million for 2023 so that they can fully reopen the jail. But the sheriff wrote that his department has merely been allocated $260,000. We took those concerns to the Board of County Commissioners. They tell us that they haven't come to a conclusion on next year's funding yet, and that they are in talks with the sheriff about what his department needs.
We all very much appreciate and honor all of our first responders, our deputies who are out there 24 hours a day protecting the public. Last year, when we found out about the ARPA dollars, the first thing the commissioners did is reach out to our staff and also put a survey out to our constituents asking where would these ARPA dollars best serve our community moving forward. With over half of the county budget in public safety right now, absolutely more than $260,000 of that ARPA money is going to go to public safety.
Now, while the commissioner says that they are in talks with the sheriff's office, it could be a long time before we find out exactly how much money will be allocated to the sheriff's department. This is because the final budget is not approved until December. Live in Denver, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
Thank you, Jessica. Boulder is changing its building regulations to better protect its homeowners from wildfires. Commissioners voted to require new ignition-resistant materials for things like roofs, vents, gutters, fencing, and decking.
So we really tried to focus on measures that were both effective, but also that would not have any kind of really significant impact on the cost of construction.
So Commissioner Matt Jones said the new materials would not only protect the homes and homeowners, but also the firefighters who respond to these wildfires. The new requirements start June 6th. Firefighters in the southern half of our state are hard at work right now putting out several wildfires. One forced 500 families to evacuate on the west side of Colorado Springs. Those evacuations have since been lifted, but minutes later, another fire ignited at a mobile home park near Garden of the Gods, and that destroyed several homes. Another fire led to a shelter-in-place order at the Colorado Springs airport. Flights are back to normal now, but a fourth is where Denver 7's Colette Bordelon is this morning in Teller County with what we're learning about another fire west of Cripple Creek.
You can't see all that much from Cripple Creek this morning. It's dark, but that High Park fire is burning and you can definitely smell it. It's burning around 4 miles west of where we're at right now. And as the sun starts coming up this morning, we're likely going to start seeing some smoke. That's what we saw as we were driving into southern Colorado yesterday. Smoke just pouring over Pikes Peak, a heartbreaking sight, especially at the start of our summer. Here's footage of the fire from yesterday afternoon. It's been declared a local disaster for wildland fire teams, meaning emergency action has been authorized. It's burned around 400 acres in Teller County and as of last night was not contained. Crews were on scene throughout the evening and the good news, no homes have burned. But just over 100 people have been evacuated because of the fire, including the entire Lakemore subdivision along with County Road 11 and 1. Cripple Creek Ranch's subdivision is under a pre-evacuation notice and a shelter has been set up at Cripple Creek schools. Winds were gusting at around 20 miles an hour overnight, and we're expecting those to get up to 30 to 40 miles an hour today. That combined with low humidity and hot temperatures isn't exactly ideal for containment, but we have our fingers crossed for firefighters. We're expecting an update on this fire at 9 this morning. We'll have any new details throughout our morning shows. In Cripple Creek, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Well, new parents and parents-to-be are facing a crisis, a shortage of baby formula, and how the Biden administration is responding to this growing concern. Plus,
I'm John Matteries. The sun is getting stronger every day this time of year. That means sunscreen. But how much do you need to pay for some decent protection? That story coming up.